Welcome to Manga Machinations! This is episode number 495, and this week we're doing a Shoujo Showdown. I'm Doc Zoo, and with me is Star Fox 8.
Hello, everybody.
And Morgana Santilli.
Howdy.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to our podcast. We're essentially a manga book club. Right now we are streaming this recording live on our YouTube, youtube.com/MangaMacTV. Oh, we got Cliff in the chat. We got Tyler complaining about us starting late in the chat.
It's not that late. We always start late.
Yeah.
Perpetually late.
The stream
You should be
starts
used
on
to this
time,
by now.
but the podcast doesn't.
We have a lot of things we gotta discuss and determine. And yeah, there's a lot of stuff this week, so I'm gonna go right into it with, hey, if you want to support this podcast, you can buy us a coffee. Head over to ko-fi.com/mangamac, and you can help fund the manga that we buy. Darfox has a little graphic up on our stream. Right now, we are working to complete our goal for our Land of the Lustrous retrospective. But we recently did a Berserk Psycho Selection episode that was funded by Philip. Oak with Ender Chambers was funded by Manga Machu, Vicky Dalton, and Lulu. And thanks again to everyone else who supported us, like The Luid, Mia, Wyatt, Dr. Melface, Poor Mexican 72, Liquidus 002, Extine, and Jen. Make sure you come support us and buy us a coffee. And speaking of support, make sure you subscribe to Manga Mac Watches. It's a new YouTube channel we put up where we're doing watch-along commentary.
That's right. And there's also going to be kind of like highlights and reacts coming soon. Today, it's not live right now, but it will be soon. We have a brand new watch-along for a brand new anime.
Are you going to tell the folks what it is? They have to go to the channel to find out?
It is Pokemon Diamond. No, I don't know. It's Oblivion Battery. Or Oblivion's Battery?
No, Oblivion Battery, yeah. Nice.
Hold on, my audio's too low. I'm not sure how this happened.
Yeah, you're fine on our podcast recording, so it just must be the stream.
Yeah, I'll figure out the stream.
While Darfox figures that out, yeah, please go subscribe to Manga Mac Watches. Right now, there's a couple episode commentaries on Dragon Quest: The Adventure Die. There should also be a commentary for the first episode of The Fable anime. Starfox is very hyped for. And yeah, we recorded a bunch last night, so a lot more stuff is going up, and we have plans for a lot more. So please check those out. Okay, moving along, I have an email here from Tyler. It says, "Hi and stuff. My birthday is this month, April. I'm on the edge of 30 soon. It's coming for me. I'm not ready. I'd be 29. What are some manga you guys have read on this podcast you regret reading or be too hard on it in your reaction of it, but now you're like, it's got better later on?" Okay, thank you for your email, Tyler. Morgana, it's finally here. The chance to apologize to Investor Z.
Nah.
Tyler's giving you the opportunity.
Nah, it's not happening. No regrets. If it's bad, it's bad.
Regret reading or being too hard on? I guess you regret reading Investor Z.
I do regret reading Investor Z. Although, I guess it does... Oh, sorry, the boy's here. It does give me something to be mad about. So I guess that's fun.
Yep.
I don't really, shit talk a whole lot of media in general. It's kind of against my, not my, like, I just don't. I feel like it's better to talk up good stuff than bitch about bad stuff, right? Um, so it's kind of nice to have Investor Z to just kind of blow off all that steam.
It's a good punching bag for you.
Yeah.
Dar, what about you? Do you regret reading anything on this podcast? Or do you think you were too hard on something?
No, because I'm rarely hard on anything. I'm extremely generous when I don't like something.
And so humble.
Yeah.
It's true though. I do feel like of all of us, you are the most laid back about some of these things where we're like, this was terrible.
This is a question for Seamus.
Yeah.
But Seamus would probably be like, no. At the time, that's how I felt. Maybe I feel different now. I guess that would be interesting.
He might go the other way and shit on things that he liked before.
Mm-hmm.
Which he already has.
Yep. Silent Voice. Pluto. Regret reading anything? Yeah, I don't think so.
Yeah, it's tough to think about that because we get so much, like even if we don't love something, we like talking about it with each other. So
I'm sure there are things like I think about differently now, but I can't think of any specifics.
Did you regret reading and talking about the manga that was a scam? That was the Power of X or whatever the fuck it was.
I mean, it made for good podcast content,
I
guess not.
It did.
But it's just fucking mind blowing.
But what if somebody listens to the manga and they're like, I gotta go check out this Power of X, and then they fell into the Ponzi scheme because of us.
I feel like we explained it well enough that it was a fucking weird Ponzi scheme, so I think we're fine.
We've read a lot of weird shit on here.
Yep.
Especially you.
Yep.
Yeah. To Tyler's other point about his birthday coming up, first of all, happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Tell you something, 30 is pretty great, actually. Being in your 30s so far, I just turned 34 last week, and it's great. I love being in my 30s, so don't worry about it. You'll be okay.
I think one important thing to think about when it comes to aging is it's really easy to see, like, Dogs and I, we watch wrestling, and it's always fun because occasionally we watch a wrestler that's like really impressive and they're on TV and they're charismatic and they're athletic, like, oh, they're 23 years old and they're like already like a star, and I'm like 36 and I'm like a nobody. But like obviously that's like a ridiculous metric to judge yourself by. And also, like, if I truly cared about that, then I should go to a wrestling school right now and learn how to wrestle and like work on to get on TV. Like it doesn't matter where you were in the past. What matters is what you're doing at the moment and what you might be doing in the future. So I have no idea if Tyler actually had any kind of existential dread about it, or if he was just commenting in a light way, like, oh, 30s are coming. But people who fear about like getting older and not accomplishing things should more just fear about not accomplishing thing in the future as opposed to in the past.
Yeah, I think, I mean, and again, like you said, I'm not sure if Tyler's really worried or just kind of like, oh man, 30, which it is a big milestone. It does feel kind of big. I think a lot of people think about getting older as like, oh man, time is running out. Time's never running out. There's always time. There's a lot of people who didn't make their big life accomplishments until they were much older, and
yep.
Life does not stop at 29. I promise. It gets better.
Cliff is praising you in chat about your nice advice.
Manga Mac Advice podcast coming soon. Manga Mac Advice YouTube channel.
I think
more work.
Send us dating advice. Ask us me
No.
M24
No.
and my girlfriend F28 are have a good sex life, but recently
We're not gonna start reading Reddit stories. No, I don't want to do that.
We could just do like a wholesome platitudes thing, like just you can do it. Don't worry, everything will be fine.
or
Manga Mac believes in you.
or we could just like straight up do like horoscopes. That'd be fun too.
Maybe.
I'll get some goat knuckle bones. We can start like divining.
Yeah, I'll ask my wife about like some witchy stuff. She'll talk with Morgana, figure it out.
Yeah, we got this. New side hustle.
New way to help people.
Yeah, help people.
All right. Thank you for your email, Tyler. Remember, you can send emails over to mangamachinations@gmail.com. Send them, and we will read them. Thank you. Okay, let's move along to some what you been reading. Morgana, were you able to read or watch anything this week besides our main stuff?
More X-Men. It's getting
Did
crazy.
you see the newest episode of X-Men 97?
Sure did.
Holy shit.
Holy shit.
I heard people going crazy over it, but I have no idea what's happening.
Well, my one piece of feedback that's non-spoilery is that there's not enough Nightcrawler because there's never enough Nightcrawler.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure, yeah.
He's in it, which is great. Yeah, he's my favorite. Nightcrawler and Storm are my two faves.
My wife was upset.
It's upsetting. I was upset.
I heard people were crying when they watched this.
Yeah.
I assumed they were sad crying, so I was like, is this happy cry, sad cry? Like, what's going on?
It's intense. I feel like I heard somewhere that this is based off Grant Morrison comics, which
Or Seamus.
yeah, right. That's kind of what I thought when I saw that. I was like, I need the rundown. Yeah, no, it's good stuff. It's messy. Shit's messy. I don't remember as a kid the X-Men cartoon being like high drama like this.
Oh, it definitely wasn't.
Yeah,
It sometimes. Well, I don't know like this because, like I said, I'm out of the loop. But it definitely was messy sometimes.
I mean, this has all come from the comics too. There's a Jean Grey clone. There's, we have to put give up our son. He has to go to the future in order to get medical treatment.
Mm-hmm.
There's just like a whole bunch of there's Silver Fox Magneto, which is like a whole thing. Last night I was talking to James. I was like, Magneto doesn't have this like gorgeous like flowing mane in the comics, right? And he's like, definitely not. I was like, I don't care. I'm here for it. So yeah, some X-Men. My daughter watched the first couple episodes of Sailor Moon today, which was fun. She's gotten into Scooby-Doo also.
That's really cute.
Yeah, it's very on brand for her. Yeah, nothing else. I think that's... I did not get a chance to read it otherwise.
I'm curious, like, what Scooby-Doo? Because, like, they've made a ton of Scooby-Doo cartoons since I was a kid that I haven't really watched any of them.
So she's been watching What's New Scooby-Doo, which is the series from 2003.
Okay.
And my husband knew that it was from the 2000s because he heard the opening sequence and he's like, this sounds like a knockoff Blink-182, and the opening's done by Simple Plan.
Okay.
So, kind of is a knockoff Blink-182. So yeah, no, it's fun. It's cute. She wants to watch the same 4 episodes over and over again, because she's 4 and that's what little kids do. So I'm very familiar with the first 4 episodes of What's New Scooby-Doo, the first season.
Cool.
But yeah, there's a lot. I want to show her there are a couple movies that were really good, but none of Scooby-Doo is all in one place. It's like all over. Most of it's on Max, but there's like a bunch on Boomerang, and there's a bunch of other things, and like we'll just stick with this for now. I'm not getting more subscriptions to more goddamn things just so she can watch Scooby-Doo.
I know, definitely my generation is obsessed with the one with like the the rock band and
The
like
Hex. The Hex Sisters, yeah.
then there was a warlock. Um, that one was like build, or like they sold it as like the first Scooby Doo story that had actual like supernatural stuff, because the whole deal with Scooby Doo is that somebody's always in disguise. There's no actual monster, but in that story the monsters were real.
But there was another one with real monsters. The Ghoul School. Scooby Doo and the Ghoul School, which was from 1988.
There were ghosts.
Yeah, there's a ghost and a mummy and a witch. That's my favorite. It's like an all girls school right next to an all boys school, but the all girls school is all monsters. And they're like super adorable, like monster girls. It's really good. I really, really love that one.
There's so much Scooby Doo.
There's so much Scooby Doo. There's like hundreds and hundreds of episodes, and then like there's movies and live action movies, and I've never seen any of the live action ones. I only know that Sarah Michelle Gellar is Daphne in the first of the live action movies.
Matthew Lillard does a really good Shaggy.
He does.
I think what's his name? The guy who does Fred. Freddie Prinze Jr.
Freddie Prinze Jr.
Yeah, I like Freddie Prinze Jr. a lot. He's probably not like the best Fred, but I like Freddie Prinze Jr. in general, though.
That guy loves wrestling.
Yeah, and yeah, he's a pretty cool guy.
All right, we've done our like Manga Mac tangent thing where it's like, let's go over here.
Yeah, my media diet is X-Men and whatever my daughter is watching right now, so
not too bad.
Oh shoot, before we started What You Been Reading, I was supposed to do this, and I totally forgot. Our episode 500 is coming up. To celebrate, we are doing a giveaway. A manga giveaway. We'll send you a manga. It started because Morgana, she got a extra copy of Panorama of Hell. And she's like, I have this. Shall we do a giveaway? I'm like, yeah, let's do it. So if you enter this giveaway contest, Morgana might send you her copy of Panorama of Hell. Maybe she'll sign it. That's what Seamus was saying. Seamus was like,
that would be
shall I sign like a copy? I was like, why? You didn't write the manga.
I am not likely to sign it, but I might like put a nice little card in there saying thanks.
Yeah, so that's smart.
A little doodle, maybe. Get a Morgana original piece of silly nonsense doodle.
Yeah, so Morgana's gonna send a copy of Panorama of Hell, and then we got talking about like, why don't each of us, the other hosts, also send like something. Darfox is willing to send somebody a copy of Mississippi's Invisible Parade.
Wait, I didn't agree to this. What? No, I'm kidding. I did.
Okay. I think Seamus was thinking about either Children of Mootown, but I think the print edition is gone, so he might change to something else. There is still digital copies of that available, so he might send that. But I will be sending from Glacier Bay Books, From This Flame, which is a manga I love by Omi Konami from Glacier Bay Books.
Whoever wins this is getting like the most highbrow, like manga head ass package ever.
It's Manga Mac. This is how we roll. We're not gonna send somebody One Piece.
No, you can get that anywhere.
Yeah. But yes, to enter this giveaway, we are asking you to write us a review. And so that could be on like Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify. Do they do written ones on Spotify?
They don't do ratings, so they don't do reviews.
Okay, so not on Spotify.
But there's some
stuff like Podcast Addict.
Yeah,
like,
Podcast Addict. Some apps.
Apparently your audio is still fucked up in Darfox.
I love this comment.
Lightning Bolt said you sound like you're speaking into a can of Pringles. Are you using the wrong mic?
I don't have another mic hooked up.
Weird.
It's weird because you sound fine here.
Maybe YouTube problems, yeah.
wouldn't make sense if everybody sounds good, but here I think I'm.
Okay, while Dark Fox deals with that, let me explain to enter. We want somebody to write a review. Some of you have written reviews before, so maybe find a different place to write a review for our podcast. And then send us an email. Send it over to mangamachinations@gmail.com, and the title should be 500 giveaway. That we know it's about the giveaway contest. And make sure in that email to put where you put that review, and maybe the name you use, so we know it's from that person to match it up. And once you have done this, you'll be in the running to either receive a copy of From This Flame, Invisible Parade, Panorama of Hell, and possibly Children of Muta. Though that might still swap out. We'll figure that out.
Either way, you're getting a pretty good package.
Yeah. You have about a month from this point of this podcast, because this is episode 9, 495. So there's still a couple of episodes to do, and we'll try to remind everybody every week leading up to episode 500 about the giveaway. So, yeah. Sorry, I was supposed to do this before we got into what you've been reading. But yeah, did it now. Okay, Morgana, anything else besides X-Men 97?
No.
Alright. Dar, what have you been doing?
Besides our watch along episodes that we've been recording, I don't think I have anything.
Okay, you don't want to mention anything about that?
No, not specifically. Besides just the plug we did in the beginning. Right now, I'm doing tech support. That's what I'm reading.
Okay. All right. Let's see. I watched a bunch of anime with you, and it was great. I guess I want to briefly talk about the anime Oblivion Battery. Morgana, do you know what a battery is?
Battery like something that charges something, or battery like battering something, like a battering ram?
Both good guesses, but wrong.
Okay, because those are my... That's all I got, guys.
I didn't know this either.
Battery, in this case, refers to a pitcher and catcher combo in baseball.
Oh yeah, no, there's no way I was gonna know that.
It's interesting. This is like an old term from America when they were doing baseball. I think I read it was like 1800s or something. But they call them battery men, or a battery. It's like a pitcher and catcher combo. And this term gets used a lot in Japanese baseball and sports. But I don't hear it often in American sports. But yeah, this is a sports anime about baseball.
I would not have guessed that, because from the title I was like, oh, this must be some Oblivion. It sounds like some fantasy shit.
Well, it's a story about a catcher, Kei, and a pitcher, Haruka. In middle school, they were so dominant, people called them demons. Going up against them, it would crush players' motivation or urge to play anymore, because they were so strong and talented. But when the story starts, you see them in middle school and kicking people's asses. But then cut to Kei in a hospital with a bandage around his head, eating a banana. And his pitcher friend Haruka comes, and he's like, "Who are you?" Kei has amnesia. He lost his memory and he forgot all about baseball. So Kei ends up going to a high school with no baseball team, and his pitcher friend follows him. And it's all about how these two meet with a bunch of other players who are pretty talented but decided to give up on baseball. And they form a baseball team there and start playing baseball again. It's very, very funny. That's the hook, Morgana. The characters look like they're super Bishonen. And unfortunately, the manga isn't available in English because it's a sports manga. I think they made the choice not to like make it available in English because, you know,
Yeah.
they don't do well. But it's really entertaining to see these really handsome dudes. And Kay, it turns out he was super serious while playing baseball, but his original personality was an idiot. So when he enters high school and he meets another player that, you know, knows of him, it's like, "Oh my god, that's the, you know, genius catcher K." And then K comes up to him and goes, "Nipple hair." Yeah, if you didn't see it, like in our Discord, I posted some screenshots from the anime. And let me tell you, my wife, we watched this after that episode of X-Men 97. My wife is like very upset. She's like, "I need to watch something funny." I was like, "I got you." So we watched this. And then, you know, it's kind of like an extended drama of the series, besides the comedy of nipple hair. The drama is that Haruka, the pitcher, is super talented, and he didn't go to a different school to play baseball. He wanted to play baseball with Kay. And he's like saying lines like, "You're the only one who can catch my pitches."
Oh my god.
And my wife is like, "Dude!"
Okay.
So
Okay.
her mind is in the gutter, and I laughed.
So I just want to make it clear. I don't know if I've talked about this before, but in BL, in Yaoi, you literally refer to members of a pair as the pitcher and the catcher.
Mm-hmm.
And
I was like, I immediately turned to my wife. I was like, "Yeah, case of bottom, obviously."
yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then, like, later on, where, like, in the episode where Kay decides to actually, like, you know, catch Haruka's pitches, he's like, "I'm the only one who can catch your pitches, right?" And my wife, again, like, started laughing. Or then at the end of the episode, Haruka's like, "I'll help you remember how fun baseball is with my pitching." So my wife's having a great time. She's loving this. But Dar, yeah, sorry to give away some of the stuff from, like, the upcoming, like, watch-along that you're gonna post, but Oblivion Battery is pretty fucking good.
That's A-okay. I don't know what's going on with my audio. I've kind of troubleshooted a couple things, but I don't think it's any different.
Okay.
So, weird audio episode for YouTube. Somehow not for y'all, though. Actually,
It's fine over here on this recording. Yeah, but Oblivion Battery. It's the anime is done by Mappa Morgana. So, you know, the same people who did Chainsaw Man and fucking Jujutsu Kaisen are now doing nipple hair. And it's great. Great comedy. I love it. And still a very heartwarming, you know, sports story about baseball. The manga's ongoing. It's like up to volume 17. Sports manga, again, they've run forever.
it's still not very hard.
But it's great. I love it.
Check, 1, 2.
And I thought I talked about this in the past, but apparently I only put up like a review or something on our website a long time ago. But Oblivion Battery, the anime is here. I'm really pleased with the quality. My wife is very excited to be watching her first sports anime.
Oh. Maybe you can do free next.
That's a
So
swimming
more-
one, yeah.
Yeah. More gay sports.
I was on the swim team in high school, so I don't know if I can stomach that.
No, so was my husband.
Oh, it's so boring. It's so fucking boring being on the swim team. You're just going back and forth in the pool, and it's fucking exhausting. It's the worst. But yeah, Oblivion Battery. People should check it out. And then check it out as you listen to our watch along episode. Okay, Morgana, because we are doing a Shoujo Showdown this week, I read Shoujo manga. More
Nice.
Shoujo manga. I want to start with a manga called Kori no Jouheki. It translates to the ramparts of ice.
Ooh.
This is a manga by Agasawa. Sorry. It's not available in English. However, Kocha Asagawa, oh god, I keep messing up. Agasawa. They have a manga on Manga Plus called "You and I Are Polar Opposites," and that's kind of a cute. Nice story, but I think it's okay. But I found out that Kocha Agasawa, yes, got it right. They had a manga before this that ran in the Manga Me, ne, which is it's like Manga Plus or Shonen Jump Plus, but for shoujo manga.
Ooh.
And so it's an app, and this Ramparts of Ice or Kori no Joheki, it ran in a app for your phone, a manga app, and it was vertical scrolling, kind of like a manhwa.
Oh yeah.
Darfox, I just posted the first episode on the Manga Me Japanese website.
Manga me.
So I didn't
By the
read.
way, I think I'm fixed. I think I fixed it. By the way,
Nice.
I'll wait for confirmation from the chat.
Okay. Darfox, you're gonna pull this up on our stream, but if you look at this scrolling thing, the art is kind of rough, and it's funny because they took this vertical format and they changed it into a digital only release that's in regular page book format, and that's what I read, and I really like this. Kori no Joheki is about this girl in high school, Higawa Koyuki, and she has like a very stern, cold look and looks like she's glaring at everyone. But it's because she puts up walls around her, and she wants to maintain kind of like a distance between herself and others. And it's a story about how this girl who had problems in middle school, some trauma that led to this, how she starts to break down her walls and like befriend two guys. One is like the popular boy, Minato. And then she also has like a female friend from middle school, the popular girl Miki. And there's Miki's childhood friend, another guy, Yota. And so it's like kind of a four-way relationship between them. And it's standard high school stuff, but I don't. There's something I like, Morgana, I guess, when it comes to shoujo manga. I like a female protagonist that is kind of like misunderstood.
Mm-hmm.
And then like they kind of get understood and like people's perception of them change.
Yes.
I really
Incidentally,
liked what was it? From Me to You.
yes,
I love
and
that. So
just so you know, I discovered that Kimi ni Todoke, from Me to You, has a sequel series that just came out in English, the first volume, that centers on oh my gosh, what's her name now? The friend.
the friend that was in love with the teacher.
Yes.
No.
Well, it centers on her and like going to college and trying to find a romance of her own.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's
no,
fine. That's
they
fine.
don't go. I don't think they go there. I mean, that
It
was
makes
kind of
sense too because she was the one who did not end up with somebody else at the
Yeah.
end of that story. So,
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it just came out in English like last week. I just happened to notice it when I was doing some reports for work. And I was like, "Oh, we should read this." But I think you have to have read the whole series. So it's only you and I could read this
Okay.
of those of us on this podcast.
I'll definitely check this out for next week. I like From Me to You a lot, so I would love to see what happens next, or at least take a look. But getting back to Kori no Joheki, yeah, it's kind of a standard manga. I forgot, Dar. I prepared the trial pages on Bookwalker for the page version. If you want to bring that up, you can do kind of like a comparison of how it definitely seems like Kocha Agasawa redrew a lot of that for the book release. I don't think I'll actually go and like try to read, even though like this manga is complete on the app. It finished. I think they've been putting out these digital full color editions. The reason they're not print is because on the app they're in color. Yeah, you see, Dark Fox. You have the comparison between the two. They've been redrawn a little bit.
Oh yeah.
Looks a lot better.
I'm always fascinated with the jump between vertical to right to left or left to right,
Yeah.
horizontal. Yeah, I think the horizontal looks better. A little cleaner, little.
So the book version of this manga is only up to volume 10. I've only read a couple of volumes of them, but like I said, the app version is finished, and looks like volume 10 is like maybe about halfway through. So it seems a little longer, but I'm kind of invested. I like this kind of story. Like I said, I like a female protagonist who is a little misunderstood and kind of like learns to, open herself up.
You know the secret of a shoujo manga, then. You know what makes it good. You understand.
Moving along from Kori no Jouheki, I read another manga called Okami Buka-kun to Hitsuji Joshi-san. And this manga is available in English from Seven Seas, and its title is I'm a wolf, but my boss is a sheep.
Oh, yes.
You've heard of this, Morgana? Have you read it?
I have. I've not read it, but I have heard of this.
I read all 5 volumes of this, and I really enjoyed it. This is more of a josei title, I would say, because it deals with, adults in a work environment. But Dark Fox, here's the kicker. The guy is literally half wolf, and the boss is literally half sheep. It's a world of people yeah, it's not quite Beastars. It's kind of like, a bit Beastars.
Do full wolf people exist in this world, or they're all just like human people with animal features?
I don't know, but at a point there's a regular dog.
Okay.
And I was like, how does this work?
But that's my wife. Okay.
I think this is definitely where the animal part of these, human animal characters is not deeply thought out like Beastars was. It's not like deep in the lore and those kind of considerations. It's only set up because the guy here, the wolf salaryman Ogami, he works in his department of nothing but female sheep, and he has a secret crush on his direct supervisor, this sheep woman. And he's trying not to like offend the other sheep, coworkers he has, while trying to get close to like his sheep boss. And then there's like a rival sheep guy who's the CEO of another company that wants to, be with the sheep boss. And then later on, there's a new employee, and she's like, turns out she's half wolf, and she gets a crush on the wolf guy. And so it's like office romance, relationship triangle shenanigans. But it's only 5 volumes, and it like goes very fast, and it's nice. It's cute. It's a manga by Shino Shimizu, and I really enjoyed it. I will say I was initially attracted to this because I was like, I wonder what kind of Beastars comparisons I can make. But then I immediately threw that out the window because I was like, okay, these are like surface level animal human, concepts. Just the idea, the phrase wolf in sheep's clothing.
Mm-hmm.
And then you got the wolf working in like this sheep department. That's all it is. It's very cute. It's like very nice.
Fox guarding the hen house kind of
yeah, exactly.
idea. It's not like Beastars where it really starts exploring the ideas until it gets really interesting, and then it keeps on exploring until it gets really offensive, and then it keeps on exploring until it gets really wacky.
That's Beastars. And that the Beastars anime should be, I don't know if it's this year.
Coming back.
Yeah, it's coming back on Netflix. I gotta drop that bomb about Lugosi's grandfather. The anime only people don't know about that.
Good old Beastars.
Good old Beastars.
How I miss you.
Yeah, but I'm a wolf, but my boss is a sheep. It is available in English from Seven Seas. Looks like they have 4 volumes out of the 5 out. The final 5th volume should be coming out later this year in English. But yeah. If you like a little office romance with a little animals mixed in, it's good. It's cute. It's fine. Okay. That's my what you've been reading. Oh, I have something else, but I can't handle it right now. I'll talk about it next week.
Okay.
Little preview for Morgana.
Ominous.
For Morgana and Darfox for next week. You'll know why next week when I tell you. Yeah, before we get to our main segment, our Shoujo Showdown, let's quickly talk about next week. So the reason, Tyler, that we started a little late was we're talking about what to do next week. And we decided, even though we have done one very recently, we're going to do another Munben Machinations. We're going to be watching some of Naoki Urasawa's Munben television show. For this second Munben Machinations, we're going to do it a little different. Our first one, we watched the Wataru Watanabe episode that was available through NHK. And then we also read Yomish Pedal to compare them. This time, we're just going to watch the Munben. And we picked ones that aren't available from NHK. There are some fan subs of this, so you can find them on the internet. And we're just gonna look at 3 episodes, so kind of like a triple dip, where we're gonna compare like these 3 episodes. But we're gonna watch the episodes on Shinichi Sakamoto. That's the manga artist behind #DRCL, and also Innocent. And we'll be watching the episode on Kazuhiro Fujita. He's the manga artist behind Ushio and Tora, and also The Ghost and the Lady. Morgana, you should be looking forward to that. It's very good.
Yes.
But also, we're going to be watching the episode on Akiko Higashimura. So pretty much like a Munben for Morgana.
Yeah, kind of.
3 manga artists Morgana is really into: Shinichi Sakamoto, Kazuhiro Fujita, and Akiko Higashimura. It really is a shame we don't have any more Kazuhiro Fujita manga besides The Ghost and the Lady in English.
I know. I want more.
Such a bummer. Maybe we can get 7 Seas to eventually put out Ushio and Tora, like big omnibus collections or something. We can dream.
I was just looking it up on Baka updates or manga updates to see the licensor.
Go watch the anime again.
It's Shogakukan.
Yeah. So it'd have to be probably Viz. But, you know.
Not necessarily.
Not necessarily, yeah.
But they would be the most likely first step.
Maybe digital first on the Viz subscription. That'd be sweet. Who knows? But anyway, next week, for Munben Machinations 2, we'll be looking at 3 Munben episodes: Shinichi Sakamoto, Kazuhiro Fujita, and Akiko Higashimura. Stay tuned for that. Okay, everybody, we're going to take a quick break, and when we are done, we will be back for Shoujo Showdown. Okay, everybody, we are back. It's time for our Shoujo Showdown. Essentially a triple dip, but instead we're looking at shoujo and josei manga. Morgana picked these titles for us to read this week. We're taking a look at Yakuza Lover. We also have Neighborhood Story. And finally, A Sign of Affection. For these three, A Sign of Affection and Yakuza Lover, we took a look at the first volume. But Neighborhood Story, Morgana has the physical release, and it's a double volume combo.
Mm-hmm.
So we read 2 volumes worth of Neighborhood Story. Okay, Dar. Let's continue your path of your shoujo awakening. What shall we talk about first?
I wanna not get the boring one out of the way, but let's get Sign of Affection out of the way.
Okay, we're going to start with A Sign of Affection. It's a manga by Sue Morishita. The Japanese title is Yubisaki to Renren. Oh my goodness. I forgot to download this on my PC's Kindle app. Hold on a second. Well, I'm getting that localization stuff ready. Let me give some other information. This manga is started in 2019 in Kodansha's Dessert magazine. It's licensed in English from Kodansha. Let me give you the localization team. Translation by Christine Dashiell. Lettering Carl Van Stifout. Additional lettering Lice Blakesley. Editing Ben Applegate, William Flanagan. Kodansha cover edition design by Adam Del Rey. Original logo design Ari Wagner. Let's read the copy over on kodansha.us. Yuki, who's always been deaf, is used to communicating with sign language and her phone. But she's not used to English. So when a tourist from overseas asks for directions, she nearly panics until a handsome stranger steps in to help. His name is Itsuomi, and it turns out he's a friend of a friend. A charismatic globetrotter, Itsuomi speaks 3 languages, but he's never had a deaf friend. The two feel drawn to each other and plan a date on a romantic winter's night. But Yuki's friend is afraid that she might be setting herself up to get hurt. Could this be something real? Or will these feelings melt away with the snow? There you go. Pretty good coffee. Yeah. This is a story. Our main protagonist, Yuki, is deaf. And she meets Itsuomi, the handsome man that Darfox has up there. And she's kind of interested. And we in this first volume we kind of get to see like her, kind of seeing how she feels because she's not sure. Wait, am I getting this mixed up with Neighborhood Story? Does
No.
Yuki not know about love?
No, she's not. Well, at a certain point, they kind of towards the end, she talks about like, I don't know if this is like, love or just admiration, kind of thing.
I think kind of a theme of all of them is they don't really know how to recognize whether they're attracted to the love interest. Hashtag shoujo manga.
All right, Dar, what did you think of A Sign of Affection? Did it make your shoujo heart go doki doki?
I think it's nice. And one of
That's
the reasons.
a no. That's a no, everybody.
One of the reasons I singled this out from the other ones was because this has like a much more like modern art style that like seemed less like what I would have identified as like shoujo, like stereotypically. Um, so it's less flashy than the other two. It's kind of more straightforward. Um, and it's kind of like it's nice, but like it's not like particularly like cutesy or dramatic. Which could be good because you don't want to just draw too much drama out of like somebody's disability or whatever. Um, but like um I it's one of those mangas that like I didn't mind and I'm glad I read it. Um, but it compared to the other two I read, um, just wasn't as much going on.
Okay, I think that's fair. Morgana, you hadn't read this before, right?
No, I had not read any of these before.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I
What
went
did you
in-
think of a sign of affection?
I agree that it's not like super exciting. I have some mixed feelings about the kind of approach to deafness and this relationship. Like our protagonist is impressed by her love interest learning like one word of sign language without her, and then he like wants her to teach him, and I feel like that's like if you're interested, maybe like go learn on your own. She shouldn't be responsible for teaching you. Is how I feel about that. Um
But he likes her, Morgana.
I know, and it's a good excuse, right? And it's important when talking about all of these because I think these all have the same problem. It's important to recognize that these are romantic fantasies. They are not meant to be, I don't know, like necessarily great examples of like actual relationships, right? Like these are entertainment. I'm always pleased when I'm reading a romance that is, very wholesome and very like, green flags everywhere sort of deal. But like that's the genre. The romance genre is messy, so I don't necessarily expect this to like do everything right. Especially when dealing with a disability.
I'm glad to hear that I was also not the only one who read this, and I was like, when's the shit gonna hit the fan?
Right.
When's the red flags gonna start to appear?
Right.
When is the drama gonna happen about her like not being, able to understand and people putting her down for having a disability? I was like, oh god.
And the only other person who speaks with her in sign language is like a childhood friend who's like super fucking possessive. Which is, mixed feelings about that too. I see the art's really nice. I see what's appealing about it. And I see what's appealing about the series. I have to imagine it gets better. It's pretty popular, and there was an anime that was recently that was very popular. So I'd be curious to read a little bit more because I do feel like it's a bit of a slow start.
Yeah, I'm kind of interested in the anime, and I want to know how they represent, like, how they, do the deafness. Because in here in the manga, she reads the lips of everybody, but, like, it's in a different. The font is, like, in a lighter tone than a pure black to represent that.
She also has hearing aids that like don't really do anything, and I'm curious about why she uses them. Maybe just to be aware that noises are happening.
I also thought that was weird, but I have not enough knowledge about that
Same.
to understand. So maybe that's just for some people that's how it works.
Yeah, I also, I mean, I guess it's not really fair, I think, to compare this directly to a silent voice. But in a silent voice, we had a lot more active sign language use, which I thought was very interesting. This does not have that much. There's a lot of typing on phones. I learned recently that somebody on Instagram or TikTok was addressing a question. Somebody was saying that people advocate frequently for sign language interpretation, even when there's closed captioning on things or subtitles on things. And the person doing this video was speaking and signing and saying that the reason it's important to have both sign language and the closed captioning is that sign language is its own language with its own grammar structure. And people who are deaf, who speak mostly through sign, frequently have trouble actually reading written language because it is different. It takes them more time. It's a different system. So I mean, I don't know how true that is for Japanese sign language. This was about American sign. Um, but the fact that our protagonist is forced to text everything all the time is a bit in order to have a conversation, either text or write things down is I don't know, it's just not fair. um I mean, that's life, and I say this as somebody who does not know sign language and should really learn, and has always wanted to kind of learn. I know the alphabet, and I can say like thank you and a handful of other things, but I don't know. I feel like she's really isolated as the only deaf character. I'm curious about how this progresses because I don't know. This first volume was
There's no
decent.
drama.
Yeah, it didn't do a whole lot. There's just a lot of here are our characters.
In the absence of drama, I create drama, and that's just me in life. Everywhere I go, I'm just like, creating drama, talking shit, saying, "Tell them what you told me," out loud. Um, but like, uh, f- for some reason, um, the main love interest kind of rubbed me the wrong way in a few ways. And it's just like his like, oh, he goes backpacking, all this stuff. It was like, who gives a fuck? It's like this. It's like this guy is sending pictures of all these like kids in fucking Indonesia or wherever the fuck he's going, and I'm like, get over yourself, bro.
But you see, he's so interesting and worldly. But even though he's so worldly, he's never met a deaf person before.
Yeah,
Ooh.
yeah. It's just like it makes sense in the sense that like this girl hasn't had those opportunities to like travel and kind of like see the world, and she meets this guy who's handsome and seems nice, but also just kind of mysterious. And he's done all this stuff, and he's currently doing all this stuff. So like, yeah, okay, I can see a young girl to thinking that's really attractive. But for me, I was like reading it and being like, it's just kind of like whatever.
I also feel a little bit, and this is maybe not entirely fair because again, she's young and she is only in the. My impression was that she was in a school for the deaf before this, before going to college. I feel like it implied that in some of the one of the chapters.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
So, but to me, it really feels like she's very naive and like hasn't done a whole lot outside of like. So which maybe is realistic, but it feels like there's a certain amount of like, well, she's deaf, so there's just a bunch of things she can't do, and I have like a knee jerk reaction to that kind of assessment, and I'm reading into it, right? Like this is not text, this is subtext. Um, it just kind of felt like, oh, she hasn't done a lot of traveling, um, and her childhood friend is telling her to be careful because he thinks that she can't take care of herself because she's deaf, and I I don't know, I was having some trouble with it.
I think this is, and I completely my own brain thing, but like when you compare it to like the other two that we watched, other that we read, especially Neighborhood Story, like it seems like these characters aren't characters, and they don't do anything but what we see on page.
Yeah, they
Whereas
don't have any lives. Yeah.
yeah, but with Neighborhood Story, I know all these fucking weird kids are up to a bunch of annoying shit here and there, and they're just like, buying CDs and like watching shows and
They're buying cassette tapes because it's 1990 fucking 4.
yeah, maybe even renting cassette tapes. I don't know if they rented
Right.
cassettes back in the day. But yeah, it's like the least textured are the ones we read. It's like just the barebone characters and barebones ideas, and this is their interactions, and that's kind of it.
Is it also because Itsuomi, the guy, he's described as like someone who has a totally different vibe, and he's usually drawn with like not an expression. He's very like just giving it like kind of not even like a stone face, but expressionless face all the time.
It's kind of aloof.
I almost read it as like, does this guy have like autism or some kind of neurodivergent, disorder or something? I wasn't sure.
I doubt.
Yeah, I don't think that was the case, but that's like I almost got that vibe.
I think he's just supposed to be like too cool.
And he was like very blunt about some stuff too, so I don't know. Morgana, I don't think this made my shoujo heart go very doki doki. I was going doki doki for another reason, thinking like, where's the fuck? When is it gonna get bad for this poor deaf girl?
I know, like the anxiety. Yeah, this was okay. This was also not my like not entirely what I was expecting, I think. There's too much hype. I was disappointed.
Because people were talking about like, oh, if you like a silent voice or Kimi ni Todoke, it'll please you. It's even in like the Kodansha copy. It's sure to please fans of romantic stories, like a silent voice, Kimi ni Todoke, and Love and Focus. I would argue that a silent voice isn't necessarily a romantic story.
No, I don't think. I mean, there is a romance there, but that's not the point. Which I think
really isn't the point. Yeah.
No. I realize also. I think one of the problems or one of the setbacks with this is there's not a lot of comedy. There's not a lot of like, because one of the things I really like in it is like a shoujo romance is like some good silliness. So this is kind of, yeah, it was kind of like one tone the whole way through, for the most part.
Or if you don't have silliness like in comedy, you expect like some extravagant art.
Something, yeah, something big, right? Something different.
It's not that the art is bad; it's just very clean and nice and
It's
kind
very
of like
pretty.
for everybody.
And
Yeah.
and the book isn't bad either. It's just kind of clean and nice and for everybody.
Yeah. I feel a little bad. We're not super trashing it, but this was a more negative response than I thought we would have before reading it, right? And I feel a little bad because I know a lot of people really, really like this one, and I have to imagine it either gets better or maybe it's just not our thing.
or it could possibly just be a mood book that people like, like the mood of nice people learning and maybe super light drama or something.
This is no perfect world, which was like advertised at the end of this volume, which I laughed about. That's the wheelchair. That's the romance manga about the guy in the wheelchair.
Yeah,
I also
I like
want to read
before.
that one, but
I don't know.
is it rough? Have you read it?
That one's more like there is immediate drama about like the guy in the wheelchair.
Great.
So you might like it, but yeah, there was no other female character that was like, I understand, Mr. Utsomi, or what do you know? You're deaf. I was waiting for something horrible like that to happen or something.
Yeah, perfect world. Aren't they like? Are you sure you want to be got a wheelchair? Are you sure? Are you sure you want it for the rest of your life? Huh?
Can
So-
you help? Can you guys want to be married? Can you really support my daughter if you're in a wheelchair? It's just fucking awful shit, but it is drama. So I'm not saying I like that, but
But at least it's something. At least
Yeah.
there's something there, you know.
like there's a scene where was it Yuki goes up to Utsuomi. He's sitting at a table with like other girls. And here she goes up, and she's the deaf girl, and the other girls don't know her. And I was like, oh god, is there gonna be some kind of like callous like comment about her being deaf? And it was no. People were chill and people were cool, and I was like, that's nice. And then I breathed a sigh of relief, and then it
That's
went on.
nice, but it's also boring.
I guess
What is a
Rats.
shoujo manga
if
without
Shay
some
was
mean
a zero, he'd
girls?
be like, yeah, I don't. That's what I want in real life, but like in a fiction narrative that
Yeah.
I'm reading, it doesn't. That's not what I need. So
Yeah, I mean, and I'm not super fond of like the mean girls trope either, but you gotta have this has very little bite to it.
manga
So far.
machinations. We need the poor first character with disability to be fucking shit on or something.
I don't need that. I just need something.
Yeah,
And-
that's
and-
not what I'm saying.
and I do kind of like the careless mean girl trope where somebody's mean and they realize, oh shit, I was kind of mean. I shouldn't have done that.
Not here though. At least not in this first volume. Morgan, did this make your shoujo heart go doki doki?
Not really.
Yeah, same.
I read it and I was like, well, that was nice, and just moved on.
I guess we don't have anything else to say about this then.
Like a walnut. You eat it, and it's like, oh, it's okay.
Not a fan of walnuts.
What?
I just think that like they don't,
I think you're forcing the food analogy too much there.
it's like a creme brulee that you drop. I don't know.
What? Darn.
So
You
much
need to go take a
expectation. You had the expectation, and then it was just disappointment.
Yeah.
Because I fell on the floor. No. Jesus.
It's like somebody cooking a meal in a wok, but they don't know how to use a wok correctly, so it comes out soggy. You know what I'm saying?
I would not call this a soggy walk. Like meal. This is fine. It's completely fine. I can see why people like it. I might check out the anime because I'm kind of interested to see how they're gonna, do the representation of deafness. But I don't know if I would actually read the second volume of this. I don't think I would.
I might read the second one just to see if things pick up.
What about you, Dar?
I'm kind of indifferent. I'll read a second one. I don't mind it. If we just ever decide to try more, but I definitely want to seek it on my own.
Yeah, same.
Okay. Well, let's move along from A Sign of Affection. Yeah, Morgana, I'll let you pick the next one. What shall we talk about?
Let's talk about Yakuza Lover.
All right.
Yakuza Lover. No, okay.
Yakuza Lover. The Japanese title is Koi to Dangan, Dangerous Lover.
Fair.
It's a manga by Nozomi Mino. It started in 2018. Serialized in Premium Cheese magazine from Shogakukan.
Delicious.
I want to fucking get Premium Cheese magazine, man. Damn. It's 12 volumes total. It has been completed and released in English from Viz, and it is available to read with a Viz subscription only on the website. It's 18 plus, not for kids.
It sure is.
We read this on the Viz subscription, so I don't have localization. Unless, is it here on this first chapter?
I don't recall seeing it.
Yeah, it's not. I'll just go ahead and read the copy on the Viz website for Volume 1. After the attack, they spelled attack wrong. ATACK.
Uh-oh.
Attack.
After the attack at the party, Yuri goes to see Oya to thank him for saving her, and as much as she hates to admit it, she can't deny there's an attraction. However, when tragedy strikes, Yuri attempts to turn her back on Oya and his dangerous lifestyle for good. But will the allure prove too great to resist? There's no mention in this copy about him being a Yakuza. Maybe that's something that they can't mention.
It's in the title.
I guess, yeah.
It's implied.
Do we know for a fact that Yakuza?
Yes.
Maybe he's just real estate or something.
Bro.
I think they do say outright that he is, and that he's like head of some such and such syndicate or whatever.
He called himself the underboss.
Yeah. So I don't think it's subtle.
The underboss of
The Oya Syndicate.
Midwest Realty.
It's the Oya Syndicate. And his card says Underboss.
That's a great thing to put on your card.
I want
Though.
that.
Toshio Omi. Oya.
That's what I should put on my business card. Morgana Santilli, Sales and Marketing Coordinator, Underboss.
I'm sorry, it's Toshiomi. That's his first name. Yeah. Yeah, so this first volume, it starts with Yuki at a party, and she gets hit on and immediately like snaps back at the dude. And her and her friend happen to walk into a room where they're doing drugs. Oh god.
Drugs.
They get attacked, and then like they're saved by the underboss, Toshiomi Oya. And then she's like, "Oh, but he's so hot.
He's so hot."
He's so hot." And then she can't, like, she knows he's, a Yakuza, but she can't, deny the attraction. And then they get, this is a spicy manga. There's a lot of fucking in this.
Spicy is like an understatement. I expected there to be sexy times. I did not expect there to be sex in like every other chapter.
There's a lot of sex. This is, it makes sense that this is only available to read on the website and not on the app. Can't have kids scrolling through all the sexy times. But yeah, Dark Fox, a manga about a girl in college who starts falling in love with this criminal underboss. What did you think of Yakuza Lover?
I thought it was enjoyable. I liked how honest she was being with like just saying like his strength and power was attractive and stuff like that. They weren't really trying to sugarcoat it in any way and saying, "Oh, he has glasses, so I find that cute," or it was like this guy's like a boss and everybody's scared of him, and he was like really gentle towards me. So like that was like the hook line and sinker. I thought it was kind of formulaic because the chapters did kind of break down to like she's a little bit on the edge about him, and then they get together, and then something kind of dangerous happens. It's just so she's like maybe this isn't a great idea. Then they have sex, and it kind of happens like 4 times. I think it happens every single chapter. That's how every chapter went, or almost every chapter. But at the end of the first volume, they did introduce basically the rival French underboss.
Russian.
French?
Did I say French? Yeah, I meant
Yes.
Russian. What are you going to?
Russian, French, they're the same in Dark Fox's eyes.
Don't tell the French.
Hey. Yeah, I meant Russian. I don't know why I said French. Blame my brain. Make it a point with my brain if you got a problem with it, okay? It's busy. It's always thinking of plans, always moving, you know. But I think that might be interesting, and I'll be also interested to see if um she finds him attractive, because he's also probably like a dangerous guy. And if she's just like, oh no, I don't know which like dangerous guy I like more. Um, but
I don't think that's gonna happen. I think she's gonna be put in like a dangerous situation, maybe kidnapped, and then he's gonna have to save her.
Mm-hmm.
That's about it.
That would be my guess too.
I think she should wait to who comes up on top before she chooses.
There'll be some drama with her own family about like who, if she's allowed to be in a relationship with this dangerous like criminal guy.
Oh yeah, Dakazu knows. This is
I've
like
read this before. I've seen this before.
This is like 100% like Harlequin romance novel plot. Like,
Mhm.
and I say this. This is it knows the genre, right? It's really good at that. I will say, for a like kind of rote romance featuring like a dangerous guy and what could be a bunch of red flags, I actually think it's pretty good. Like, you still have the sexy appeal of danger, but the actual romance is pretty healthy.
It's pure. Yeah, and the
Yeah.
guy isn't like, for a Yakuza-gun, he's not like, he's not like assaulting her, or he's very respectful.
Yeah, I mean, he said, "I wanted you to make a choice. I didn't want to force myself on you, but he even said at one point, he did say like, I can't hold back now." But I think that kind of
And she's into it. She's like,
she's
oh,
into it,
my
right?
body's so hot.
Yeah, no, it's very
And
much
then
like
he's licking his lips. It's like, oh, here it comes.
yeah, it's very like it's a fantasy. I mean, this is a sexual fantasy, like 110%. I think they did a pretty good job with it.
Yeah. What do you think, Dar?
I think you guys are apologizing for a criminal. No, I don't.
Dar's such a prude. What the fuck?
I will say, Oya's really, really fucking hot. Our female protagonist, she's fine. She's not my type.
I don't know if I should say this.
Oh no.
Is Oya remind you of James with the hair and the glasses? Your husband.
Maybe. I'm not gonna say.
Sorry. I'm
not
sorry.
gonna say I didn't think that. You know what's funny too is that James is growing his hair out a little bit.
Oh,
so
but you told us he doesn't like that.
it's not he usually keeps it pretty short, but he's been growing it out a bit, so it is a little bit longer. It's not quite as long as Oya's, like not in the front and stuff, but there's not they're not dissimilar.
I will say I also don't like having long hair, especially since I live in Hawaii and it's hot.
Mm-hmm.
But my wife really likes it when my hair is like Oya's length.
Yeah, it looks good. He's kind of a babe. Oh yeah, I mean also my husband, but oh yeah. Yeah. No, but I was looking, yeah, it's the author knew what she was doing making that man. But again, the female protagonist, she's fine. She's okay. She's kind of normal looking. But I guess that allows the reader to kind of put herself in that position, right?
Okay, this is the raunchiest page I will put up. I examined the page closely. No, it's not that, but it's definitely the page that she's focusing on the guy.
I'm waiting with bated breath to see this.
Or she's looking at his tattoos.
Oh yeah.
He's got those Yakuza tattoos.
If I go forward, it gets too raunchy.
It really does.
Yep. Morgana, you mentioned Yuri, the girl, how she's kind of like normal.
Mm-hmm.
One thing that like stood out to me, and I don't know if it's like in a good way, is the way like the eyes were drawn.
Yes, they're so big and sparkly in a really weird way.
And they have like when you have like the eyes that are drawn on like a female character, usually you have like the retina and the reflection and everything. But there's something strange about the way that this is drawn by Nozomi Mino. How Mino did like those eyes sometimes.
Yes, they're definitely. I mean, they're always a little odd, but there's some panels in particular where I was like, "This is really like disquieting."
Yeah, it's like almost distracting.
Yeah,
sometimes.
almost disturbing.
Mm-hmm.
But I have to say I appreciate to some degree going back to that like classic sparkly-eyed shoujo look because that's not something you see a whole lot anymore. And it always was kind of bizarre and alien, so it's kind of endearing. It definitely like there were definitely times where I was like, I don't. This is weird.
Yeah, the way Mino draws it is very unique.
Mhm.
That's for sure. So, but yeah, hey, if you are this is not for children,
Mm-mm.
but if you are an adult and you want to read about hot romance between a girl and like a dangerous criminal, this is probably your jam. You'll probably
Yeah.
enjoy this a lot.
This for me has a lot of the same appeal as Midnight Secretary, but it's like five
Oh, but I
times
like Midnight
raunchier.
Secretary more.
Yes, I do too. Midnight Secretary is like one of my favorite manga of all time. But this is like a similar kind of like, ooh, I've got a dangerous boyfriend. But this is like five times raunchier, and we don't have the benefit of having a protagonist who's just really wants to be good at her job. That is like one of the best things about Midnight Secretary is like she's just really focused on being a good secretary and also getting boned by her boss.
But the guy, he was a vampire, right?
Yes.
That was,
Also dangerous though, different kind of danger. Less realistic kind of danger.
yeah.
I love how Oya always tells Yuri that like I'll call you or I'll come see you if I'm still alive. It's like this is depressing.
Let's wait on for 12 volumes. He'll be fine.
Hope so. But what's like the end game? Like, does she become like a Yakuza wife? Like, what? I don't even know what outcome I would want out of this story. You can't
Okay.
really leave, can you? I mean, if you're like the son of if you're like the underboss, I don't know.
Morgana, I was also curious about this. And, I enjoyed this manga, but it did not necessarily make my shoujo heart go doki doki. But like you, I was like, how does this end? And you know what? All the chapters are available on this Viz app.
That's
So
true.
what did I do? I went and read the last chapter.
Oh.
I don't think I'll reveal what happens, but
No.
He fakes his own death, and he goes off with the girl to be like a cottage cheese farmer.
that could definitely be a possibility.
Cottage cheese.
Somebody got to make
Dar
it.
with like the extra like weird thing that he puts in like his like predictions. It doesn't even faze me anymore. I'm like, okay, yeah, cottage cheese. Let's move along.
He got a Dar filter.
I fucking heard it all. Dar, did this make your shoujo heart go doki doki?
Oh,
Were you too embarrassed by all the sex?
nah. I honestly like no. But I liked it a fair bit more than signs of affection. So I would give this one like half marks. And I would be interested in reading more of this one. So I guess yeah. If that's the barometer for
It's like the
Doki
polar
Doki.
opposite of like a sign of affection.
Well, yeah.
In
There's a
every way.
lot. There's a lot more going on with this. In almost every way. Um, and I like the art. I like the art in this one.
Yes. I think the English title of this is kind of boring.
What's the Japanese
Just
title?
Yakuza Lover. Like,
It's like Dangerous Lover is the other one. It's
yeah,
Japanese.
but like the Japanese Koito Dangan is like love and bullets.
Oh. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's pretty That's pretty dramatic, pretty high
Mhm.
octane.
Yeah, yeah. Morgana, did this make your shoujo heart go doki doki?
I don't know about my shoujo heart, but this other shoujo parts
Shoujo
going doki doki.
Shoujo Mokuri.
This is yeah, yeah. This is steamy. I enjoyed it. I don't think it's like 110% my jam. I would read more. I definitely think that it's fun. Um, but like you said, like I was thinking about Midnight Secretary when I read this, and I was like, I definitely like Midnight Secretary more. But maybe that's because I just like old manga. Um, but yeah, no, it was fun. I don't think it's like my next fave or anything, but I definitely enjoyed this one.
Yeah, I enjoyed it as well, but I don't know if enough to like keep reading. I think I know where the story goes, and I mentioned I've seen it before, so
Hmm.
it seems a little predictable. Okay, let's move along then and go to our final shoujo showdown title, Neighborhood Story by Ai Yazawa. Japanese title is Gokinjo Monogatari. This is from 1995. Ran in Ribbon magazine, put out by Shueisha. And I believe the English release of this is just recent.
Yes, a few months back, because I've had the volume knocking around for a while and have not read it. Had not read it until now.
Yeah, English release came out on December 5th, 2023. So the end of last year. Morgana has the physical copy, which is a double volume. The series is finished in 7 volumes total. Let me go ahead and read the copy here. Peppy and creative teenager Mikako wants nothing more than to make it as a fashion designer. But when she enters art school alongside her lifelong friend Tsutomu, she finds herself distracted by his sudden popularity and subsequent love life. Despite her feelings, Mikako forms a club with Tsutomu and her friends to sell their creations at a local flea market. While the group is out scouting the flea market, however, discord arises between members in the group, and what begins as an exciting day quickly turns sour. Okay. This is also available on the Viz subscription, but for some reason I couldn't find the I couldn't find it on the website to read.
It was really hard to find. You had to go to a very specific URL, or oh wait, no, I was thinking of Yakuza Lover. You had to go to like viz.com/vizmanga in order to find that.
Yes, because it's part of like their service, not like just a Viz website.
Yeah.
There isn't a link. If you go to the Viz website and you find this, you can't just like click this link to read off the subscription,
Yeah.
which I feel like is sorely missing.
Yes. Yeah, that's a problem I had with Yakuza Lover.
Well, I ended up reading Neighborhood Story on the Viz app on my phone. Morgana, I don't have the localization though.
I do, because I have the physical edition, so I can read
Yes.
them.
Please.
Translation by Andrea McKnight, touch-up art and lettering by Michelle Pang, design by Sean Carrico, and editor Carla Clark.
All right, very nice. On the Viz app, you have all 8 chapters from this. That's the same as the physical release. So that's what we read. I read that Neighborhood Story is a prequel to Paradise Kiss.
So, I don't know that any of these characters are necessarily the same characters, but Paradise Kiss. Have you interfaced with Paradise Kiss at all?
I
You've
know
read
of it,
or
but I
okay.
know nothing of it.
So it's about I think she is a high school student who is interested in fashion, and she kind of meets these college students who have kind of their own atelier, and she becomes a model. And it's a very Paradise Kiss and Nana both are very like are kind of cynical and like emotional. So I this you know this came before I think both of them and is about high schoolers specifically, but like Paradise Kiss and Nana are both about adults mostly. And I think the through line might be that the main character in Paradise Kiss maybe went to the same high school as these characters. I can't recall. I've only watched the Paradise Kiss anime, and it's been quite some time since I did, so like maybe a decade. um, but it's funny because when I was reading this, I was like, oh, this has like all the same themes of Paradise Kiss and Nana, and none of the angst.
Interesting. Hopefully, we will be covering Paradise Kiss in the future because it is available digitally. But we need some time to prep. It's you buy the thing and it's the whole series. It's like 800 pages, so we'll need some time to prep. But we're gonna force Seamus to read it.
I think you'll like it.
It's got the drama.
So much drama. Oh my god.
But yeah, going back to Neighborhood Story, it's by Ai Yazawa, as you mentioned, Morgana. Ai Yazawa is known for Nana, which is amazing and uncompleted. Much to it's sad, but was Ai Yazawa she had like medical issues, right?
Yeah, I think either she was in an accident or she got very sick for quite some time, and I think she's okay now, but it just has not come back to it, unfortunately.
Wasn't the other manga artist in the accident? Kyoko Okazaki.
Oh, maybe. I know that the creator of Fruits Basket was in a car accident also that wrecked her hand, her drawing hand for a while. Y'all gotta
Yeesh,
stop getting into
terrible.
accidents, man. Like,
Yeah, Kyoko Okazaki was in a car accident that basically ended her career. But yeah, let's with Neighborhood Story. Yeah, it's high school drama, but it's a high school drama done by Ai Yazawa about kids at a like, you know, they're at a school for fashion design. So it's got wild Ai Yazawa like fashion. Darfox, what did you think about Neighborhood Story?
I think it was pretty good. I think high energy, intricate art is the secret sauce to make Dark Fox like shoujo. Um, I just really like the way these characters were always kind of bouncing off the walls. They're kind of, I guess somebody might find them annoying, but I found them mostly endearing. I like how she says "warp" whenever she like runs off. Um, that was pretty funny to me. Can't find any good examples right now. Oh, I literally just found an example. It is like a very dense book, and this page I'm about to put up will be like a kind of minor example of that. But there's definitely a lot of text, and there's a lot of panels and a lot of layered stuff, which I think is pretty common for a lot of shoujo back in the day.
Mhm.
Um, but like I guess you could just say this 2-page spread is kind of indicative of the book. Um, and there's a lot of like interesting almost like mixed media stuff in the book that's really subtle, like even on the same page there's clearly just a photograph used in the bottom left panel of the right page that was just like slightly touched up. In some of the chapter art, like in between chapter arts, you could tell that it's like an actual. It's not like a typical scan of art. It's an actual photograph of art because there's a particular kind of like grain, and you can see like the paper more clearly. There's a one point where she's like mid warp, and they use like, I don't know how to describe it, but it's like film negative to show like her shadow clones behind her as she's like moving super fast. Um, so it's like, if you describe the manga like we just did at the introduction of this segment, you say, oh, it's a bunch of high school kids, like not really being honest about their feelings and kind of missing each other's ships of the night, and a bunch of just like small drama. But and I guess this is just the case with the shoujo genre or demographic in general. That does not make it not artistic. Um, I feel like this is the most artistic book we read in this episode, and it is the most frilly and girly one. So I'm not saying anything super revolutionary, but I really enjoyed it. I feel like this is like maximum shoujo. That was my impression of it. Um, and yeah, I liked it. I mean, like the characters are like whatever. Like I didn't love any of the characters, but I do really like the main girl, and I like how she interacts with most of the other characters. It's kind of how I felt about Peach Girl, but Peach Girl was definitely a lot more like glurgy, dramery, and like there was just like mean characters. There's less mean characters in this one.
Mm-hmm. It kind of feels unfair to read an Ayazawa book next to uh more modern works because I feel like she's kind of in a league of her own in a lot of ways. And I don't just mean because she's, I mean, again, she's well known for a couple things, but she's such a specific artist. She's got such a unique style and very specific themes. And it's really interesting to see something that was made in the 90s that used pen and ink, that used screen tone, especially compared to like Sign of Affection, which I feel like was very pared down, modern shoujo, visually pared down, and I guess tonally.
It's like a clean look.
Yeah, which I'm not super fond of, I have to say. And this is what I mean when I complain about modern manga. It's not that it's not good or the art's not good. It's just that this is what I'm used to. I'm used to a lot of texture when I read manga because I read a lot of shoujo manga as a kid. And like Yakuza Lover definitely has more texture, right? But it's still a very modern look. It's a very different thing. There's just something so, I don't know, you can never mistake Ayazawa for anybody else, right? She's such her own artist, and an artist who loves talking about art, which is to say fashion mostly, but um yeah, I just feel like this really feels like the stepping stone to the work she would create in the future and the work that is the most the most popular for her. It's definitely not as, at least from this first double volume, not as like mature in terms of storytelling. There's a lot of like, it's a little bit silly, it's very funny actually, but her art is even here is just really good, and she takes a lot of these ideas and themes and then just like goes all the way in future work. Jiro is my favorite character, the guy with the weird mohawk who barely speaks. um he's great. I love him.
Oh, he's like the side character guy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's got like he has like he's got no love interest. He's got nothing going on. He's just there for like random commentary occasionally. He's the best.
I actually have a weird fan theory about the side characters that only Dogzu will appreciate.
Oh,
Let me see. So there is the main love interest guy, and then there's Jiro, and then there's a long hair guy. I immediately identified them as the cast from Final Fantasy 15. The main guy being Prompto, the long hair guy being Gladius, I think his name was, and Juro is, I think his name was Ignis. There's no Noctis. Noctis is like the main girl or something. But it just really reminded me of them. And the more I read it, I thought about it early on, and I'm like, that was whatever. But the more I read it, it's like the more I thought about it. So that is secret lore. The Final Fantasy 15 devs read this manga back in the 90s, and they wanted to keep these characters alive in their video game.
I didn't play Final Fantasy 15, so I didn't get that.
Yeah, but you watched the anime thing. At least you watched one of the episodes that
Oh, the anime thing is so bad.
Yeah,
God.
one of the episodes we talked about.
Mm-hmm. I have something I have to confess to both of you.
Oh no.
So I did like this
Okay.
because it's Ai Yazawa, and her, like you mentioned, Morgana, she has her own fucking style, and that's just fun to see all these fashion things, right? But here's the thing. Darfox, can you pull up the main character, Mikako, our protagonist,
Sure,
the teenager?
Let me find.
There's something I noticed about Mikako, and then it basically ruined her for me.
Okay, random. Here she is.
The way Mikako is designed, she has like her face and her eyes and her mouth are at the bottom of her face, and she has this big forehead. Don't you think she kind of looks like one of those gray aliens?
Are you just describing manga right now?
Right?
I couldn't unsee it after that.
Secret lore, she's an alien.
She looks like a gray. That's what I'm saying.
That's why she doesn't know feelings. She's trying to figure it out.
You know, Mikako and Stomu, their like story here in Neighborhood Story, I didn't really care about it.
Yeah. They're dumb kids being dumb.
If anything, Mariko was my favorite character. She's like the other girl, the older one that Stone was dating at the beginning.
Bodyco.
Yeah, nice bodyco.
She's pretty good, yeah.
I was like, why can't she be the main character?
One of the thing I like about her being there is the idea that, like, okay, so we have the slutty mean girl character, but she's not.
She's not at all.
Yeah. She is rich. She's a little bit of a ditz. But that's one of the things I like about, that I think shoujo manga does this enough that it's like, I don't know. That's the kind of thing I like in a shoujo manga, is like, not like pitting girls against each other, but showing that, like, maybe, we're not all so different after all.
Yeah, she had a great story. I really liked her as a character. Also, if you're just talking about characters that look cool, Risa's cool.
Risa's like proto Nana, like 110%.
Yeah. Totally.
Making out with her hot musician boyfriend, and I'm like, oh no. I see where this is going.
We've seen this before.
Speaking of characters that aren't cool, the fucking little brother of Bodyco. That dude sucks. I only hate him because of his hairstyle, but like
the dreads, yeah.
Yeah.
Ayazawa
choice.
has done that with a few characters. There's a couple in Nana who are Japanese people with dreadlocks. They looks good on them. They don't, they don't look like little brother here who looks ridiculous. Um,
It's not working, little bro.
no, it's very much part of that like high fashion Harajuku fashion of the 90s. It's
Yeah.
pretty appropriative in many ways. Even the gyaru look is kind of appropriative. You take it all with a grain of salt when you read this stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I read Neighborhood Story first, and I was looking forward to it. But I just like kind of it was good, but I didn't like it didn't make my heart go doki doki. And when I finished the 8 chapters, I was kind of like, huh. I guess I was expecting more. Maybe I had higher expectations because it was Ai Yazawa.
I, for my part, really liked it because it was Ayazawa without all the like heartache. It's
I mean, that's true. Yeah,
I love Nana. I enjoyed Paradise Kiss, but it is heavy. It's hard. I mean, I still this might go. I don't know how far you've read into Nana, but like I still get emotional anytime somebody mentions salty miso soup. Like it just like it's a thing. Um I just like this was nice because again, it had all the fun tropes, the fun trappings of an Ayazawa book without feeling like I was going to like need to take a depression nap afterward.
that makes sense. I guess it's a combination of Tsutoma being like a whatever main like love interest, and Mariko being a gray alien. That I'm just like I was just waiting. I was like, can we get back to nice Bodiko?
I do think that part of the charm of this is the secondary characters though. And that's true of Nana too. There are a lot of extra characters that I really enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
Cuz Hachi is like technically the main character in Nana, but they focus a lot on Nana Osaki cuz she's hot and cool. um God, that story is so messed up.
Man, I guess in my case, like I'm not interested in necessarily reading more neighborhood story, but now I'm like further interested in looking at Paradise Kiss.
I'd call that a win.
Sure, right?
Does that mean that none of them made your heart go doki doki?
You know, they didn't.
Wow. Is it
We're jumping a little ahead here,
the
but
first bomb in Shoujo Shodan?
I mean, it can be enjoyable without like tugging your heartstrings, I think.
yeah,
I think that I mean, I'm gonna say this did make my shoujo heart go doki doki because I definitely was like super excited about reading it. I really enjoyed it. But even in terms of like the scale of doki doki, like it's not like I was like, oh my god, I can't wait until they kiss or like whatever. I wasn't like acting like a tween while I was reading it. Which I think is kind of the benchmark, right? Like how again, how excited do you get about like these characters and their romance? I'm like okay about these characters and their romance. But I'm really, really all in for like the awesome like clothes and the cool characters and it's just fun. It's fun and like gorgeous to look at. And I sent you guys photos because you didn't have the physical copy, but the physical book looks great. The front, so it's paperback with French flaps. The front French flap is like a lacy edge on it, which is really cool. And then the back matter, they have like an illustration, like a full color illustration gallery, which is gorgeous, marker illustrations. So I admit also I might have had a different, definitely a different, but possibly a better reading experience because the way it was packaged also. You know what I mean? Like it's a
oh
whole
yeah, it looked real nice.
yeah, like it's a whole experience, not just the reading of it, but you know, the consumption of it.
Mm-hmm.
Dar's got some photos up on on the stream. I only took a couple photos because I didn't want to like send the
Spoil
whole
everything.
damn book. But
That one's a choice. I want to ask her now.
Oh yeah.
she just likes making art. You know, yeah, the star nipples.
Darfox, do you want to read more Neighborhood Story? Did it make your shoujo heart go doki doki? It sounds like a yes.
It did.
And obviously, Morgana, you love this. Yeah, I guess, like, if you guys want to read more, I would be down. I'd be, okay with it. I don't need to, though. And didn't necessarily make my shoujo heart go doki doki. Okay, we fixed our technical issues. Sorry about that, everybody. Could not hear Morgana for a second. Yeah.
I was saying that we have not talked about the mangaka mom.
Oh yeah.
The relationship between her and Mikako.
Oh, she's great.
She's so good. And also the fact that the principal of was it Yaza Arts is Ayazawa.
Yes. Oh, I'm glad you brought that up.
Just self-insert. It's fine.
And then, like, to celebrate graduation, they all come in the most outlandish fashion ever. Super fun. Good stuff. Yeah. It's weird that I love, like, all the art stuff, but I guess Mariko's too much of a gray alien for me to care. All right.
That's so funny. I just think that is like standard shoujo 5 head. Like
they all look like grays.
What's wrong with big foreheads, eh?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Honestly, I have more of a problem with her like skinny pigtails. She's always wearing they're like so skinny. Like spaghetti on the side of her head.
Mm-hmm.
But it's fun. It's very, of a time for sure.
Yeah.
And I say that in a positive way.
But yeah, that will end our talk on Neighborhood Story. And so we have reached the end of this Shoujo Showdown. It's time for some rankings. Fuck.
I have a feeling I know what we're all gonna do, but
well, Morgana, why don't you go first then?
okay. Neighborhood Story is first, Yakuza Lover is second, Sign of Affection is third.
Yup.
Yeah, you know what? It's funny because like I said, I read Neighborhood Story first, and my heart did not go doki doki. I was like, oh no. But then, yeah, same with the other two. And I guess I would go with that ranking.
Maybe we need to fix your heart, man.
I mean, let's be fair. Last time we did Kimi ni Todoke, and I fucking love that.
You sure your doki's not broken?
I just had more doki talking, when I read through the Ramparts of Ice that I talked about earlier. That one was really hitting with me. Like I said, I like a female protagonist that is like kind of shut off or misunderstood.
Yeah, and Mikako is like ADHD personified instead.
Yeah, maybe a little bratty and just like
just high energy, like kind of nuts, kind of clueless. She's fun, but she is also not my preferred protagonist type.
It doesn't help that Stomu, like, the guy is also kind of like whatever.
He fucking looks like Lupin. Which, like, I mean, yeah,
shit.
There's all this like conversation about how he looks like a monkey, and I'm like, yeah, because he looks like Lupin.
Right.
Lupin Sensei.
Well, that ranking was sure easy for us then.
Yeah.
Easy
And-
peasy.
And I want to reiterate, I don't think Sign of Affection is bad. Like, it just didn't hit for me, and I don't really know why. Well, I know why, but I don't. I'm guess I'm just don't. It's very popular, and maybe it's just that there's so little good shoujo to be had. Maybe
Possibly. I'll probably come back next week after checking out the anime. So we'll
yeah,
see.
I'd be really curious to see how that is.
I don't know. Maybe somebody will write in and let us know.
I'm sorry if you love A Sign of Affection. This is not a reflection on you or your tastes. It just didn't hit for us, my dudes.
Not for the Manga Mac. But yes, let's go ahead and end this episode. Thank you to Darfox and Morgana for joining me this week. Shout out to our friends in our live stream chat, Cliff, Lightning Bolt, and Tyler. If you enjoyed Manga Machinations, make sure you subscribe to us, review us, rate us. Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, wherever else you can find us. Don't forget, we are doing a giveaway for episode 500 that is coming up. If you're interested, please write us a review and then send us an email with the title 500 Giveaway with information about the review that you left. And you will be entered into our running to receive Panorama of Hell, or Invisible Parade, or From This Flame, or Children of Mutan. Maybe. We don't know about that one. Our email is mangamachinations@gmail.com. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/mangamactv. Darkbox, do you have a URL thing for Mangamac Watches, our new channel?
Yeah, YouTube created like a tag system now. So it's youtube.com/@MangaMacWatches.
Okay.
That's our tag, and yeah.
Yeah, check it out for our commentary episodes on Dragon Quest: The Adventure of Dai and The Fable, and more stuff to be coming soon. Check it out. Subscribe. Our website is mangamachinations.com. Our Tumblr is mangamachinations.tumblr.com. If you want to support us, buy us a coffee, please. Head over to ko-fi.com/mangamac and help fund our current project of Land of the Lustrous retrospective. Come join our Discord server, discord.me/mangamac. We're still playing Mahjong every Monday. Come join us and play. Or just come talk to us. You can also follow us on social media at Manga Mac Podcast. That's Manga MAC Podcast. That's for Instagram, Blue Sky, Twitter, everything else. And you can follow my personal social media at Dagazoo. Follow Darfox at Darfox8. And follow Morgana at Morgana Relina. Alright, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us this week. Bye-bye.